Thank you very much for inviting me. Some really interesting contributions so far. First, a bit of background about where East Devon has come from. In 2012, East Devon made the headlines after one of our councillors, who was the chair of a council-funded outside body which advised the council over its local plan, was stung by the Daily Telegraph after telling a journalist posing as a planning agent that I don't come cheap when it comes to making sure a planning application can get through the committee. He was told to resign, but the episode has made transparency a key issue in East Devon local elections, and that is why my cabinet position exists. I don't believe there is such a cabinet position anywhere else in the country. East Devon wasn't one of the 50 councils surveyed by Transparency International, but upon being appointed to my cabinet role, I've been able to start addressing some of the systemic weaknesses within our planning system. One is within the pre-application process, in which we have a member advisory panel for meetings with developers for major applications. Until last month, there were no notes taken at these meetings, which gave the public and some councillors the perception that secretive lobbying was being allowed to take place. We changed this by bringing a report to the last cabinet at East Devon, which adopted Transparency International's first recommendation in full, which means from now on that all pre-application meetings between the council and major developers will be minuted to committee standard by an officer from the council's democratic services team, and further that those minutes will be included within the paperwork of any future application. This report was met with complete cross-party support and was adopted by the council with unanimous support last week. Our protocol is also reflected in the constitution so the public can see it. We feel it will actually increase public confidence in the council. But I will say this is only one recommendation from this brilliant report that we've adopted so far. So I'm aware that on its own it is no panacea. There is so much more we need to do, and some of that was mentioned by Liz with our code of conduct, our gifts register, and also managing the revolving door by ensuring what happened 8 years ago at East Devon can never come close to happening again. So that's me.
Thanks very much, Paul. It's really great to hear about the positive steps that you've been taking. I think Councillor Lesley Whybrow from Folkestone and Hythe also had a couple of comments to make.
Yes, I have. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry I missed the beginning because I couldn't get into the meeting, so I didn't hear all the presentation, but I've read the report, and I've also got the detailed recommendations from my council, which has been very useful. So I've taken that to the Chief Executive. I haven't got anywhere with it yet, but I will keep pushing. Yeah, I'm a little bit dubious about some of the comments about reducing discretion in planning, because that also reduces democracy. So I would really put my emphasis on transparency. But I mean, clearly, I would agree the developers have far too much weight in these decisions, and the public opinion counts for next to nothing. So that balance needs to be readdressed. I would also agree. I think, you know, the one recommendation from my council that I've picked out has been to get those meetings between the councillors and the developers minuted and put into the public domain, because I think a lot of the public don't even know that those meetings happen. I think our Chief Planning Officer actually is very straight and very professional, but he's very keen on these meetings to sort of try and get the problems ironed out before it gets to the planning committee. But that means that none of it's done in the open, and you know, absolutely needs to be more open than it is at the moment. I also think, I mean, there is a big reluctance, I think, to actually take complaints against councillors through. I mean, just about every complaint that's been put against the councillors since I've been elected has not gone anywhere. And a lot of them are trivial, so I can understand why that happens, but it means people have no faith in the complaint system. So I just have to congratulate you on this work. So it's been very useful for the campaigning that I'm doing within my council. So keep it up. Thank you.